Hello students, welcome again. Today we are going to discuss another device called voltmeter and ammeter. But as such we don't have a voltmeter in ammeter, but generally we have to make a voltmeter and an ammeter from a galvanometer. Now if you remember what is galvanometer, galvanometer is just a device in which when a current flows through it, it's basically a coil. When a current flows through it, it gives a deflection. Okay. Now, for you, if you do remember class 10, in class 10 we have something called DC motor. What was DC motor? A current was flown through an armature and the armature starts rotating because of a torque experienced by it. So it's similar like that. You have an armature, okay, a coil kept in a magnetic field. When a current flows through the coil rotates. And suppose if you put a pointer at the top of the coil, as the coil rotates, so suppose if I consider this is my coil. So if the coil rotates, even this pointer will also rotate, correct? So if it rotates from here to here to here, so it's just like this. This is 0, you can say it rotates by this, so it becomes 90, so it becomes 180. So I am just attaching a pointer over here, so I know how much is the current which is going to get, which will make this this thing to deflect, and then we can measure the intensity of the current by seeing how much will be the deflection. So basically it's just a device in which a current flows through it, it rotates and then it shows a deflection. We call that as a galvanometer. Okay? We call that as a galvanometer. Now the problem with galvanometer is the galvanometer has its own resistance. We call that resistance as Rg. And it do have a safe current. We call that as Ig. Safe current of a galvanometer means a galvanometer cannot sustain any current beyond the safe current. That means it will get damaged, it will burn. So we have to always ensure that the galvanometer rating is always obeyed. That means we are not supposed to send any amount of current which goes beyond the galvanometer's maximum current which the galvanometer can tolerate. So we have to ensure, we have to respect these limitations over here, that a galvanometer has an internal resistance because of the coiling, and it does has her Ig. Ig is the safe current in which till which the galvanometer is safe. Now the question here is this: why we are here? Why we are here with the galvanometer? Now galvanometer's safe current is very less. It's of the order of microampere, milliampere, correct? But generally, let us say I want to construct an ammeter which can give me a reading up to 10 ampere, or which can give me a reading up to, let us say, 5 ampere, or let us say 100 ampere, or let us say let us say 1 ampere, which is far more than milliampere also. So I want to construct an ammeter. Ammeter is a device which is going to measure the current. Ammeter, ampere meter. Okay, so the short form of ampere is and meter is something which is used to measure it. So I am looking forward for an ammeter which can give me a measurement up to 10 ampere, up to 1 ampere, let us say. But I have a galvanometer which has a safe current Ig which hardly goes to milliampere. Generally is microampere, sometimes is milliampere. So the problem here is we cannot use this galvanometer directly as an ammeter. So we have to make sure that we convert this into an ammeter. And there comes our first topic: how to convert a given galvanometer into our desired ammeter. Okay, and then in the second part we are going to see how to convert a given galvanometer into a desired voltmeter. So we are here onto this topic now, that is conversion of galvanometer into a ammeter. So I will donate galvanometer like this. This is my galvanometer. Oh, sorry. This is my galvanometer. It has some internal resistance. Let me call that as Rg or R small g. Okay. Consider that this is my safe current which is flowing in this circuit, that is equal to your Ig. Now what we do now is this. We attach a resistance parallel to the galvanometer. We call this as RS. We call this as RS. What is RS? RS stands for shunt resistance. This is called shunt resistance, which is typically very small. Typically very small. That is of the order of 0.11, 0.01 ohm, something very small, not very high. So shunt resistance are of very small value. Now why do we connect that in parallel? Now let us see here over here. Now for a moment let me rub this. What is this Ig? This Ig is the safe current. Now this Rg is chosen in such a way that this Rs is chosen in such a way that let us say when a current comes from the circuit, let us say called I, then if I is the maximum current, if I is the, say that somebody told you that go and make a ammeter which can read from 0 to 10 ampere, correct? So 0 to 10 ampere, that means I am considering Is 10 over here. So if it can measure 10 ampere, less than that also it can measure. So you have to ensure that when it is 10 ampere, when the current, so when the current is from 0 to 10 ampere, when this is your 10 ampere, I have to ensure that my galvanometer is safe. If the galvanometer is safe for 10 ampere, the current anything lesser than that will be also be safe. Now this Rs should be chosen in such a way that when the maximum current comes into the circuit, then this should be chosen in such a way that only the Ig is allowed to pass through it, and the remaining I minus Ig will pass through Rs. So this Rs should be chosen in such a way that when maximum current I flows in the circuit, then if the current will split, and it will split in such a way that Ig, that is the maximum tolerable current which can be tolerated by the galvanometer, flows through the galvanometer, and remaining should flow through Rs. Now this will ensure that my galvanometer is safe, because when this current falls below the maximum current, let us say 8, then even this will also fall below the maximum Ig. So if let us say for example over here, say that I have I and I have Ig. Okay, now say that this is, let us say the maximum Ig is 10 milliampere. Okay, and maximum I is 10 ampere. So when 10 ampere is my maximum, Ig should be 10 milliampere. Now let us say when the I falls less, let us say it becomes 8 ampere. So this should also fall. Then this becomes 8 milliampere. Whereas this was my maximum. When this becomes 6, even this can become 6. So that is the whole idea. I have to ensure that my maximum gets balanced. If my maximum is getting balanced, below that the galvanometer can read. So whenever a reading is given to you that convert so and so into 0 to 10 or convert an ammeter to 0 to 50, whatever is the upper limit, at that current the Ig should be maximum in the galvanometer, because when I becomes less, even this also becomes less, the galvanometer is safe. I should not cross this limit. If I crosses this limit, this crosses its own limit and then it becomes damaged. Okay. So I will just narrate the whole thing so far, whatever we have done, in order to have a because derivation is very small. Remember, we have a galvanometer which has a very small value of safe current. Now in order to make sure that the galvanometer gives me a deflection for 10 ampere or 20 ampere or so on, what we have to do, I have to arrange a shunt resistance. The shunt resistance should be chosen in such a way that when a high current passes through this, that means a current more than Ig passes through this, part of the current is getting diverted in this direction and part only goes in this direction. The one which goes in this direction can be maximum of Ig. The one which goes through it cannot be more than Ig. So we will ensure that when this current is maximum, simultaneously this current is also maximum and the remaining current flows through this. Now the question is, what does the galvanometer is actually reading? Answer is, galvanometer is reading Ig, but I want to measure I. So here comes another concept called calibration. What does calibration means? Calibration means like this. So I have this needle, correct? Okay, this is the galvanometer part. Now this is my current. This is, let us say this is 10 ampere. So when I say this is 10 ampere, part goes to the shunt part and only Ig goes here. So it gives a deflection because of Ig. But here on the screen, on the needle, on the screen of the, what you say, on the display, I will write 10. Getting the point? What is coming? 10. Correct? When this is 10, this is Ig. So basically the galvanometer is showing a deflection because of Ig. But how much I am going to write? I am going to write on the screen as 10. That is this one. When this becomes 8, let us say this becomes something less than Ig. So this will show a deflection something less than Ig. But how much I am going to write for that deflection? For that deflection I am going to write this one as 8. Okay. So basically I am calibrating it. The word is calibration. Okay. I have something else entering and this is giving something else deflection, but I know that this deflection is because of this getting entered. So I will write something else over there, and that's a valid, that's legitimate. Okay, it's not illegal over there. Okay, so that's how we do a calibration over there. Now, how to choose this RS? That is the biggest question in our head. Now, these two are in parallel. If these two are in parallel, I have Ig into Rg will be equal to I minus Ig into Rs. This is the working equation, and from here I can find Rs. Rs will be equal to Ig into Rg divided by I minus Ig. So this is how I can choose my shunt resistance if I have to convert a galvanometer into a desired ammeter. Okay. Now, three things, and these three things are very, very important. First thing, shunt resistance are a very small value which are connected in parallel to galvanometer. Point number one. Then this device as a whole, this whole thing is called ammeter. So when they ask you what is ammeter, you have to write ammeter in which a galvanometer is connected parallel to a shunt. So this together parallel connection is called ammeter. Third thing, how ammeter is connected in a circuit. So let us say I have a circuit in which I want to measure a current. So in this case I will connect the ammeter in series. Ammeters are always connected in series because in series current remains same. But what is happening inside the current? Or what is happening inside the ammeter? So ammeter is connected in series. But if I zoom this, inside this ammeter what I have? I have a galvanometer with a shunt resistance in parallel. So students get confused, parallel series. So make it clear, very, very clear in your mind. To convert the galvanometer into ammeter, you have to connect a shunt in parallel. Done. Once you have got the ammeter, now you have to put this ammeter into the circuit. So into the circuit it needs to be placed in series because series current remains same. So inside this ammeter you have galvanometer and shunt, both are in parallel. Third, what is the resistance of the ammeter? Now if somebody asks you what is the resistance of a ammeter only, now I will write over here. Resistance of a ammeter. Resistance of a ammeter is equal to two resistances are in parallel. So 1 by Rg plus 1 by Rs. Some book says directly S also, some book says Rs. In my notes I have used Rs directly as S. So please make this, both means shunt. Okay. So 1 by Ra is equal to 1 by Rg plus 1 by Rs. So this will give you the resistance of the ammeter. Third question. Fourth one. What is an ideal ammeter? Very often asked question. What is an ideal ammeter? So an ideal ammeter is that kind of ammeter whose resistance is 0. Please make a note here. Ideal ammeter has a resistance of 0. That is called, we call that as an ideal ammeter. So shunt resistance are very small, typically very small values of shunt we use, and then we connect them in parallel. The whole thing is arranged in series. Ideal ammeter Ra is equal to 0, and this is the working formula for our conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. Now the another topic. Let's go to another topic. Another topic is conversion of this into a galvanometer into a voltmeter. Now what is voltmeter? Voltmeter is a device which can measure voltage. Okay. Suppose this is a circuit. I will make it look like a circuit. Suppose this is a circuit and this circuit contains two resistance R dash and R. Okay, I want to convert this. I want to connect a voltmeter over here. So that I can measure the potential across R. So if I have to measure the potential across R, I have to connect a voltmeter across R, because voltage in parallel remains same. So the voltmeter reading and this reading will be same. So remember, first thing, a voltmeter is connected in parallel. Voltmeter is connected in parallel. When we use a shunt in ammeter, which is very small, trust me, the overall resistance of the ammeter, which we discussed over here, 1 by Ra is equal to 1 by Rg plus 1 by Rs. This overall becomes very small. You know why this entire resistance should be very small? It should be very small so that it does not affect appreciably the net current in the circuit. Meaning this. Suppose if I have a resistance of 10 ohm, then it will have some current flowing in the circuit, and that will be equal to EMF by 10. Now in order to measure this 10 ohm, I have to connect the ammeter. What if the ammeter itself has a resistance of 5 ohm? Then my net current in the circuit will be 10 plus 5. That means my intention was to measure E by 10, but when I use the ammeter to measure, I am not getting E by 10, rather I am getting E by 15. So because of the introduction of the ammeter in the circuit, I have deviated from my original current. Okay. So for all this purpose, we have to ensure that my ammeter resistance is very less. Very less means, let us say, 0.5 ohm, entire ammeter. If the entire ammeter has a very less resistance, now you can see here, my net current will be 10.5 from the beginning. So when I introduce the ammeter, my current has slightly changed. So it is giving some error. Remember, with ammeter there is always an error. With ammeter there is always an error. Only with ideal ammeter there is no error. But there is nothing called ideal. But remember, with ammeter there is always an error. So when you put this ammeter over here to measure the current now, the current has slightly changed, because the ammeter will always offer its own resistance, and that resistance for ammeter should be very less, as less as possible, so that my current is not deviated too much from the real value. But here in voltmeter, what is happening here, when the current is flowing like this, I have to ensure that the current which goes in this direction is very small compared to this current, because the more the current goes here, more will be the voltage drop, IR. If this I becomes less, I will become less when this current becomes more. So when this current becomes more, this current becomes less. So I am getting very less amount of potential drop because of this voltmeter. That is not the case. Just imagine if this would not have been present over here, I would have got a potential drop of V is equal to I times of R. Correct? But the moment I put a voltmeter over here to measure it, some current goes in that direction and some current continues to go along this direction. But the current which has gone here now has become less than the expected current, correct? Because part has gone in this direction. So what I want is that this current should be as less as possible so that my accuracy is not lost. This current. So in order to have this current as less as possible, I have to ensure that my voltmeter should have a very high resistance. because when the resistance on this segment is very high, then the current going in this direction will become very small. So what exactly is a voltmeter? In a voltmeter, what is happening here is I have a galvanometer with its resistance Rg, and I connect a very high resistance Rh in series with it, and this whole thing is what I refer as voltmeter. So remember, here in voltmeter we connect in series a high resistance to the galvanometer, but the whole apparatus is connected parallel to the circuit in which I want to find potential. Opposite to the galvanometer, we are connecting in series, but the whole apparatus is connected in parallel. Okay. Now let's see the working formula for this. In the working formula for this is, let us say that, so this is my voltmeter over here. So if somebody asks you what is the resistance of a voltmeter, resistance of a voltmeter will be equal to Rg plus Rh. Since they are in series, so it's very high. Why it has to be high? So that the current flowing in the main circuit is not affected. Okay, now, so this is my current I. So when this current is maximum, let us say that this is also maximum, and that maximum current, because it's going to the galvanometer, has to be Ig. So remaining is how much? I minus Ig. Now this Ig goes here. Now again these two are in parallel. Parallel means this is my R. So I minus Ig into R must be equal to Ig into Rg plus Rh. And this one is nothing but my expected potential which I want to measure, V. So the whole formula is V is equal to Ig Rg plus Rh. Now why I am writing this term as V? Because that's how our intention was. Suppose I want to convert a galvanometer from 0 to 10 volt. That means maximum should be 10 volt. That means this should give you a measurement of how much? This one. This should give a measurement of how much? This should give a measurement of 10 volt. So that is nothing but I minus Ig into R. So that is equal to 10 volt. So we directly put the data over here, so that we can calculate for RH. What should be the RH? I have to choose so that I can convert the voltmeter into, I can convert a galvanometer into a voltmeter. Ideal voltmeter should have infinite resistance. If this resistance becomes infinite, this current will almost become zero. So I will get the most accurate potential drop measured through that voltmeter. So ideal ammeter resistance should be zero. Ideal voltmeter resistance should be infinite. Keep these things in mind. All these things are in the note. Okay. So with this and this formulas, what we have got, we have converted the whole thing, and we will discuss some numericals in the next class. Thank you, and thank you for watching.